Now, two Catholic priests have been kidnapped in the Nigerian Delta. Unfortunately, the kidnapping of Christians is not a rare occurrence in Nigeria. So joining me to discuss this ongoing crisis is the Venerable Dr Hassan John. Thank you very much for joining us today to talk about this serious topic. Can you start off, please, by telling us how widespread the persecution is in Nigeria?
Indeed, persecution in northern Nigeria is very wide. Actually, it has a history. I would say it's been very subtle in the last 3 decades or so, but then it started growing in intensity around 2000. By 2001, it now escalated, especially in the central region of Plateau State in Nigeria. And then Boko Haram, the terrorist radical Islamic group, came into the equation by 2009. And from then on, it went very, very violent. And, it's been in the news all these years. And till now, it has not ebbed. Indeed, in the last 4 or 6 weeks, more than 200 people have been killed in central Nigeria. And just another 7 about 2 or 3 days ago. So it's been persistent.
I don't feel like we're hearing about this as much. And when we are hearing about this, it seems that the mainstream media is deliberately misrepresenting the persecution as being anything other than the work of Muslim extremists. But it's Muslim extremists that are trying to stamp out Christianity in northern Nigeria, isn't it?
That's correct. And you know why you don't hear so much about it, especially here in the West, is because there is a deliberate act by the Nigerian government, I must say, and some maybe state actors to deny, deflect, and defend the persecution against Christians in the country. So they've targeted everything else but an attack against Christian communities. So the climate change has been blamed for it a lot. And there is also this, pushback to say that, a particular tribal group is being called out to be the terrorist organizations and things like that. But the thing is, why it hasn't come in is because it creates a lot of complexity, and the international media just doesn't even know how to approach it or even how to handle it. Because when anything that seemed to come with a conflict or between Christianity and Islam, a lot of people just don't want to go there because they feel it's a very delicate place, it's a very volatile place, it's a quagmire, and people just don't want to get to that level. Unfortunately, dozens of people get killed every week.
I'm surprised to hear that climate change is being used as an excuse even over there in Nigeria. The Primate of Nigeria spoke at the R20, which is part of the G20 in Bali in November, and said that Christians in Nigeria are facing genocide in slow motion. Would you say that's accurate?
Exactly. I mean, the all-parliamentary group about 2 years ago asked the same question. Is there an unfolding genocide going on in Nigeria? And I think quite a number of publications have raised that issue because there is this strategic wiping of villages and Christian communities, predominantly in it started in northeastern Nigeria with Boko Haram, and then eventually the cell groups of radical Islamic groups and cell groups. So let me underscore the radical Islamic militia groups, because what we have seen are well-organized, well-equipped, and strategic decimation of Christian villages in central Nigeria. And I have been to so many villages. I mean, I've unfortunately had to preside as a Christian, or go over so many other mass graves when there are mass funerals, and you hear testimonies of these victims, those that have survived, telling you about the high caliber weaponry that is used, the night vision goggles that are involved. So we're not talking about just climate change or clash between herders and farmers like the Nigerian government wants the international community to believe. But this is a strategic picking out of communities and wiping them. We have more than 2.5 million refugees from central Nigeria alone. And this is is online. But why attention hasn't been brought to this, and why, these things seem to just be overlooked, is really a question that many of us in Nigeria are still asking.
I hear you. Hassan John, thank you so much for shedding a light on this. And you are in my prayers, and the whole of Nigeria is in my prayers. And to my viewers, if you can, please donate to Open Doors at www.opendoors.org.